Hey, this is Adam Hamer, and I wanted to make a brief video regarding my feelings on why, uh, personally speaking, it's very difficult for male survivors of childhood abuse, such as myself, to come forward and to talk about what happened to us. Um, it's hard enough for any survivor in the world, especially we live in where there's no justice, but in particular, being a man and experiencing the things that I did, it's incredibly painful to talk about, incredibly difficult to share what I went through with the public and with other people, and it puts me in a very vulnerable position, which is not something that society normally um, looks for in a man, and so it's not easy to put yourself out there and to talk about uh, pain and suffering that you've been through that was not right. And so there's not much more to say other than that. It's that it's hard enough to be forced to experience these kind of things, and then it's much worse to come forward to police officers like the FBI and the ICIG, and to have the ICIG take my criminal report and issue me a case number, fully recognizing that I'm a victim, and open up an investigation that's nearly it's going on, I think, 10 months or more. It's still open into who did this to me when I was a kid. That this is the reason why male victims don't tell their story, because like that's not the only, like, I've had people question the validity of, like, my life experiences when I shared what I really went through, and I really lived this. So, like, I'm not fucking trying to explain to nobody what the fuck my life experience was. I'm trying to get justice, and this is the reason why men don't come forward, because our society ain't built for this kind of shit, and the people who do this kind of shit don't actually have to face consequences. So then you have these kind of fucked up situations where people like me, who were subjected to horrific crimes and horrific abuses at the hands of the state and intel agencies, are now being told by the fucking police officers that, they're classifying the crimes into my persons, and that I'm not allowed to get access to my case updates because it's classified. The National Reconnaissance Office, I spoke to them recently. They told me the case is still going on. It's about who did this to me when I was a child in the GATE program, and it's a criminal case. And they told me very recently it's still going on, and they said, do you want an update on it? And I said, yes, please. And they said, okay, we'll call the ICIG and we'll ask them to give you a call, give you an update. That call never came. That also came with the notification about it being classified. And that is not okay. You cannot be classifying crimes against people when they were children that continued into adulthood, that took place in these programs that were not what they were publicly stated to be to those people and their families. And I was one of those people, and I am now here for justice. And this is why male victims and survivors of abuse like this don't come forward, because at least not as often as maybe other people, because it's not an enjoyable thing to share what one person has went through when it's incredibly traumatic, and society's not used to seeing people like men talk about this and being victims of such horrific crimes. That said, I, as a victim and survivor of this stuff, would like to see things change, and would like to see some accountability. I mean, I reported all of the things that I stated. I reported these companies to multiple police agencies in regards to me being transported non-consensually to these places and other places that I don't know the location of when I was a child. And I reported all of the details that I shared, all of the tortures that I went through. And honestly, I'm so upset about the lack of justice. I know that the police officers are investigating us. They told me so. The NRO offered to provide me an update, and then no update occurred. Why? Because it's also classified. That is a miscarriage of justice, period. And that was implied to me, that it was classified by the National Reconnaissance Office in the way that they spoke about it. It's just not right. Anyways, that's all I have to say.